And welcome back to the Sunday Sports Update. And you're just in time to catch this guy, Stoney. How you doing, bud?
How are you?
Doing well. All sorts of topics to talk about, Stoney, but I want to get started with the MLB trade deadline fast approaching. I know, got to wonder what the Tigers are going to do. One name that's come up, Rick Porcello. Do you keep him? Do you trade him? What do you do?
I think you keep him because as the playoffs go, if they get into the playoffs, which they should, they'll need guys for long relief. You're not going to need 5 starters. And yeah, they need one more reliever. But the bullpen did very well in Kansas City. I'd like to see them get another arm, but I wouldn't trade Porcello to get somebody, just a guy who's going to be middle relief.
How impressed have you been with Joaquin Benoit? Night save.
He's been pretty good.
Yeah.
He's been pretty good. And like I said, everybody's kind of upset about what happened this weekend. Going to Kansas City and you lose the series two out of 3. Mr. Negative here, I'm actually going to be positive because, you're batting with the Indians. You didn't lose any ground, or you didn't lose any of your lead. It's still a game and a half. And looking in, you think they're going to Minnesota, who stink, and the Tigers are going to Kansas City, who's much better than Minnesota. I'm going in thinking that the Tigers are going to lose a game this weekend, but they only won one game. But think about it. Going back to the bullpen, bullpen did not give up a run all weekend. Tigers gave up, I believe, 8 runs. 6 of them were given up by one guy.
That's interesting.
That's Justin Verlander. Because Sanchez only gave up the 1 run in that game, and that was in the first inning. Today, Fister and the bullpen only gave up 1 run, and Verlander gave up 6 runs, 5 of them earned.
You look at Verlander, last 3 starts, Stoney, 3 or fewer strikeouts in the last 3 starts. Do you push the panic button in the second half of the season if you're a Tigers fan, or do you say, he's still quality?
He's still quality. He's not going to be like what he was when he won the Cy Young Award, and it's obvious he's probably not as good as he was even last year. But he's still a good pitcher. He's not dominant this year, but the last start before the All-Star break against Texas last Sunday, he didn't strike out a lot of guys, but he pitched really well.
Good point.
So I'm not worried about Verlander. Obviously, Scherzer's been their best pitcher this year. Verlander's been their second.
And speaking of Scherzer against Sale tomorrow,
that's going to be
opener of a 4-game set with the White Sox. I'm excited.
That's going to be a tough series.
Yeah.
The White Sox. Jim Leland always says it's not who you play; it's when you play them.
Exactly.
White Sox played the Atlanta Braves very good this weekend, and now the Tigers got to start the series with Chris Sale. It's not going to be an easy 4-game set.
It will not. Yeah, tomorrow again, Scherzer. Can't wait to see him and Sale. Now from baseball now to hockey. A lot of big Red Wings offseason news. We saw the schedule released. I know a couple of notable games, obviously. The Leafs play the Wings in Toronto, then, of course, the Winter Classic here at the Big House. But the Daniel Alfredsson being on the wing side back to Ottawa is one on the schedule. That's worth noting, too.
Oh, that'll be huge up there, no doubt about it. And it's interesting because it's just cool. I mean, I'm not going to go game by game with the Wings schedule, but it's nice when you see the schedule and you look how few games are starting at 10:30 Eastern. So that's the cool thing that they're out of the West. So it's definitely interesting in the way they set it up, and still a long way till training camp.
Real quick, too, speaking of the schedule now, aside from the schedule, the NHL and the Olympics agreeing to have the guys take a break in February, you got to wonder, though, which of the couple Red Wings that will get a chance to represent their respective nations?
Well, I think there's a good chance, not great chance, but a good chance Jimmy Howard might be Jonathan Quick's backup for the United States as far as in goal. I mean, there's other guys they can pick as well. Ryan Miller, who played really well the last time, but he hasn't played as well for Buffalo, the Michigan State grad. Obviously, Zetterberg, Cronwall probably.
Oh, yeah.
Alfredsson maybe for the old-time leadership. I don't think Franzen's going to make it this time, or at least he shouldn't, based upon what he's done as far as for Sweden. For Canada, there's really, I can't think of anybody on the Red Wings that's really going to be one of those guys because the Wings don't have that great North American score, and of course, Datsuk has to represent Russia.
Yeah. And you heard the reports about Coach Babcock being named head coach of Team Canada. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, but he won it the last time, so why not this time as well?
And real quick, too, on football note, Javid Best no longer here. What do you think about that?
I think it was only a matter of time. I mean, the Lions, look, they were 5-0 until he got hurt in 2011. Let's remember that.
Yeah,
and then everything went downhill. So a good player, exciting player, but still a risk that they took, traded up to take a guy who had 2 concussions. sometimes those risks pay off, but it's the Lions, so you know they don't pay off.
All sorts of storylines for the Lions as we get ready for training camp here in Allen Park.
Yeah.
Now, I'm saving this last part for you, Stoney, the Stonehead of the week. I can't wait to find out who it is.
Well, first it's going to be something to do with the British Open, but you know, a guy like me who really does not like Phil Mickelson, as you know, you got to give Phil credit. An amazing round to do what he did today in those conditions on that course. Kudos to Lefty. But the Stonehead has to be my guy, Tiger. He can't close on a weekend. It's unbelievable how bad he plays in the majors on the weekends, and also Tiger. I know it's not in your mind, but there are, you know, microphones when you play. You curse all the time. It's always picked up. And ESPN should be on a little bit of a delay, don't you think, as well? Anyway, Tiger, until you can get it together in a major, stop being such a stonehead. I'm mad. I wanted him to win.
You wanted Tiger to win.
I'm a Tiger guy.
Tiger, if you heard Stoney, he sent the message to you.
Yes.
That is, ladies and
Go
gentlemen.
to Oak Hill, PGA, and win one. Shut everybody up.
It's been a while, Stoney.
It's been a long
time
while.
since 08, Torrey Pines, as we all
God.
remember. It's been so long.
His weekends are worse than mine.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Stoney. You can catch him and Bill weekdays on 97.1 The Ticket from 6 to 10. Always a pleasure, Stoney.
Thank you, David.
Have a good night.
Yep.
Stoney's Stonehead of the Week is brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, the best mortgage bankers. Call 1-800-LOW-RATE.